Greetings, Virgo soul. The walls you walk past every day, the floor beneath your feet, the ceilings that hold the quiet of your nights. They've been holding something for you, something ancient, something sacred, something that now stirs as if it has finally sensed that you are ready. You were not drawn to this house by coincidence. No, Virgo. You were summoned, chosen, whispered to in the stillness of dreams and guided by hands unseen. For this house, this exact place, has been waiting. Not for anyone, for you. It recognized the resonance of your soul the moment you crossed its threshold. It sighed in silence, sensing that the time of remembrance had come. The tarot has spoken, and its first voice is clear, the Four of Wands, upright, radiant, a card of foundation, of sacred celebration, of union between seen and unseen, but here it glows with a light not of joy, but of anticipation. This card, Virgo, tells of a spiritual structure built long before the physical one, a sacred grid of energy beneath your home, placed there by hands of love and grief. A blessing was planted here, but with it, a silence, a pact, a waiting. You may have felt it, that shift in temperature when you enter a room, that sudden calm or the inexplicable sense that you're being watched, not with malice but with reverence. The tingling on your skin, the flicker of lights at dusk, the moment your name echoes in the hush. These are not random, they are invitations. The house is calling you to listen. Emerging next in the reading is the High Priestess, veiled and silent, yet brimming with knowledge. She stands at the threshold of hidden truths, and she speaks directly to you now, Virgo. You are not alone. You never were. This house remembers the promise, and so do you, even if only in dreams. There is a feminine energy embedded deep within these walls. She has been here long before your arrival, long before this house bore your name. She is a guardian, an ancestor, a soul who once lived where you now rest. In her time, this home was a sanctuary of light, a place where intentions were set, where offerings were made, where a lineage of spiritual blessing began. But something disrupted it. A betrayal, perhaps, a fear, a silence forced by the hands of time. And so the blessings were sealed, not erased, never lost, only waiting. Now, Virgo, the Page of Cups appears, soft and radiant, signaling the beginning of emotional revelation. A message from the past will arrive. Perhaps a child's laughter when there's no child nearby. Perhaps an old photograph falling without cause. Perhaps a stranger speaking words that feel like a memory. These will not be accidents. These will be the signs that the blessings are waking, and they are looking for you. The house is alive with it. The corners vibrate with energy that shifts when you speak from the heart. Plants bloom where your tears have fallen. Animals pause and gaze at the same empty corner day after day, because it is not empty. It never was. There, the veil is thinnest. There, her spirit watches and waits. The Ace of Pentacles comes forward. Now my reversed, not to warn, but to remind you. The blessings are still there, buried beneath inherited doubt, beneath a history never told in full. Virgo, somewhere in your ancestry, someone prayed for you. Someone knelt in this very home and asked for blessings to fall upon their future bloodline. That prayer traveled through generations, and it found you, but the answer was delayed. Because a voice, a woman's voice, was silenced, her gift unspoken, her blessing locked behind doors of secrecy, until you are the opening, Virgo, the light breaking through, the soul whose presence reactivates everything that was sacred in this space. And now, you must decide, will you listen? There is something in the air now. Can you feel it? The house, once still, begins to breathe. With you, the walls no longer just echo your footsteps. They pulse, they speak. They shimmer with the first whispers of what was promised long ago. You've begun the awakening, Virgo, and with it, the veil has started to lift. The tarot now shows the Six of Cups, upright, nostalgia, memories not fully yours, but they rise. Anyway, in dreams, in scents that appear from nowhere, in that strange familiarity you feel with objects no one else notices. A mirror, a chipped teacup, a box hidden too well for someone to have left by accident. These are the breadcrumbs, and they all lead to her. The feminine spirit who dwells in the house is not just a ghost, she is the keeper, the one who blessed this place with her tears, her voice, her prayers, and was forgotten. But her blessing, it remained, encased in time, sealed by betrayal, silenced by fear. She comes now in vision, standing at the foot of your bed in the quietest hour, appearing in reflections where no one stands, brushing against your arm when no wind blows. Her presence is not fear, it is yearning. She has waited so long for you, because only you, Virgo, carry the same frequency of truth, of longing, of justice. The moon emerges again, this time waxing full. Secrets are unraveling, but not all at once. The energy is cautious. It tests you. Will you keep listening? Will you go deeper? You may find yourself pulled to one room in particular, the attic, the basement, the hallway with the strange draft. That room holds the memory, and she is waiting there, not to haunt but to remember with you. Because it was in that very space where something sacred was lost, something she tried to protect, an altar, a diary, a blessing circle, and it was destroyed, covered, forgotten, but the energy never left. It lingered, it held. Now, the 10 of Pentacles appears, not as wealth in the material sense, but as the inheritance of truth, the foundation of family, the golden thread that ties generations across realms. Virgo, your bloodline was meant to receive something, a gift, a spiritual legacy. It could be intuition, healing, prophecy, protection. But someone was cut from the story, and you are that story's continuation. Do not dismiss the signs. A door that opens in the middle of the night, a candle flickering though there's no wind, a song you haven't heard in years that suddenly plays while you're thinking of her. These are confirmations. She is here. She has chosen you. And now the tarot offers the star, hope reborn, the signal that the blessings, once thought lost, are aligning, that what was closed is ready to open. But you must make space for it. You must invite it. Speak aloud in the home. Light a candle, not to cleanse, but to call. Place your hand on the wall where you feel the shift, and listen. Her voice is subtle, but it carries the thunder of generations. Virgo, you were never meant to live an ordinary life in this house, because the house itself is extraordinary. It is an altar disguised as a shelter, and you are its priestess. Its priest, its vessel. That is why things never felt quite normal. Here, because this is not just a home, it's a portal. What comes next will require courage, a confrontation with the past, a breaking of the silence, but it will also bring the first rainfall of those long-withheld blessings. You're feeling it now, aren't you? The air thickens in silence. Your steps seem louder. Time stretches in, certain corners of the house, as if space itself is watching you. Virgo, this is not fear. This is the atmosphere of revelation. Something buried long ago beneath pain and protection is rising. The tarot brings forward the 8 of Pentacles, but this time it's not speaking of labor in the ordinary sense. It speaks of ritual, of repetition that becomes invocation. You've done something, perhaps unknowingly, that has triggered the unlocking. Maybe you moved a piece of furniture. Maybe you spoke aloud a name. Maybe you opened a drawer that had not been opened in years. Whatever it was, you've begun the activation, and with it, the pact is beginning to unravel. The next card is death, not as an end, but as sacred transformation. A shedding of old protections. Virgo, at some point in this home's past, perhaps 2-3 generations ago, a vow was made in desperation. A woman the same spirit who lingers now, entered a pact to protect what little she had left. Not with malice, but with grief. And in doing so, she locked away the blessings. She asked the house to guard them until someone with pure intent came to release them. Someone not tainted by greed, not driven by revenge, but by truth. That someone is you. You may have noticed that certain objects resist being moved, that a locked drawer remains locked even when the key fits, that photos fall from the same place over and over. These are not coincidences. These are the guardians of the pact resisting the release, testing your resolve. Now the tarot reveals the Hermit, your card, Virgo. But this time, you are not alone in your solitude. You are followed, guided, watched by the soul who kept the secret, now pleading with you to see her fully. Her story is one of pain and protection, of knowing that the family line would fall into forgetfulness unless someone remembered. And now you remember. There is a room, maybe sealed, maybe neglected, where the energy is thickest. A closet no one uses, a crawl space never entered. That is the heart of it. That is where the blessing was buried. Not literally, spiritually. It may be guarded by a broken mirror, a draft, a scent that comes and goes. Do not fear it. That room is not cursed. It is consecrated. But you must approach it with reverence, with voice, with openness. The Hierophant steps forward now, signaling that this is sacred ground, that you are not just discovering a mystery, you are participating in a ritual older than your name. Speak aloud in that room. Ask what was hidden. Ask what must be remembered. You may cry, you may shake, but you will not be alone. She is with you, and as you speak, the energy will shift. You will hear things, footsteps when there are none. You will see flashes, light where there is no bulb. The veil is thinning, the house is responding. Then comes the wheel of fortune, upright, turning at last. Virgo, this is the moment where everything begins to reverse. The blocked blessings, the delayed abundance, the unexplained sorrow, all of it tied to the pact. And now the pact begins to break. But breaking it is not enough. You must replace it. With truth, with voice, with acknowledgement. You must name what was unnamed, honor who was forgotten, and only then will the flow return. The house is listening. Every board and beam has waited for this moment. And now, Virgo, so must you. The air around you is no longer the same. You know this. You feel it in your skin, in your sleep, in the strange way the light falls into the room at dawn, like a blessing trying to reach you, filtered through centuries of silence. Virgo, the house is not whispering anymore. It is speaking. And what it says is sacred. The tarot now shows the tower, not in its destructive chaos, but in its truest form. The collapse of the illusion, the breaking of the false shelter. Something is about to be revealed that will shake the foundations, not of your physical home, but of your understanding of it. This house is not what you thought it was. It was never just a refuge. It is a chamber of memory. And one memory, above all, is pushing its way to the surface. The spirit of the woman, she who watched you, waited for you, is no longer just a presence. She is manifesting. Her energy is stronger now, palpable. She may appear in mirrors, in dreams, in the flicker of candles that burn too quickly. You may hear your name at night when no one calls. You may feel her breath on the back of your neck when all the windows are closed. Do not fear. She is not here to haunt, she is here to pass the blessing, but she cannot do it alone. The card Justice appears now, solemn and unwavering. Virgo, there was a theft, an act of betrayal in your bloodline, a sacred object taken, a promise broken, an inheritance twisted by lies. The blessing was meant for her and for you, but it was hidden to keep it from hands that would abuse it. And now the time has come for restitution. A box may appear, a key long forgotten, a story told by an elder, strange and fragmented. These are not random. These are the map. Follow them. You are being shown where the energy is bound. Perhaps it's a closet with clothes no one wears, an attic where something is buried under dust, a photograph that everyone avoids. Virgo, the past is not gone. It is stored, layered, folded into every fiber of this house, and now it is unfolding. The next card is the devil, not as evil, but as bondage, the unseen chains. There is a curse, yes, not of dark magic, but of silence, of shame, of a story buried so deep that even the name of the woman who lived it was erased. But she is no longer invisible, because you have seen her, you have heard her, and you are the one she chose. Her hands reach for you, not to drag you down, but to lift you up, to hand you the seed of blessing that was once hers, now yours, but you must take it freely, without fear, without doubt. Now Virgo comes the Ace of Cups, upright and overflowing. This is it, the blessing. It pours not only from the spiritual plane, but into your body, your home, your voice. You may find that water behaves strangely in your house, pipes bursting, rain pouring only above your roof, tears coming without warning. This is release. This is the home baptizing you into its truth. The woman, your guide, your ancestor, smiles now. She is ready. The house vibrates with her light. She has held the blessing long enough, and now she pours it into you through symbols, through sounds, through sensations. You may feel sudden warmth in your hands. You may dream of water, of gold, of doors opening. Do not dismiss any of it, because these are the final signs. The final card in this passage is the world completion, the ending of a cycle, the beginning of sacred wholeness. Virgo, you have reached the center. The blessing that was once blocked is now awakened. It surrounds you, fills you, binds you not to the past, but to your destiny. But one step remains. It's here. The shift, the surge, the breaking of the invisible chains that have held your bloodline in spiritual drought for far too long. Virgo, the house knows, the spirit knows, and most importantly, you know. The final card rises from the deck like a sun cresting over the edge of a forgotten world. The sun, and with it, light floods every corner of your home, not just literal light, but spiritual radiance. The blessing is not just coming, it is here. And it recognizes you as its rightful bearer. You may notice your house feels different now. Lighter. The air no longer clings to your skin with shadows. Dreams no longer leave you shaken but filled with insight. The spirit, the woman who waited for so long, no longer appears in sorrow. She watches now from a distance, smiling, fading into peace. You gave her what no one else could: remembrance, voice, redemption. The tarot now reveals the Ten of Swords, but unlike before, it does not mark betrayal, it marks finality. The cycle of loss, silence, and ancestral suppression ends with you have broken it, not through violence or anger, but with love, with willingness, with truth. Virgo, you may begin to see strange coincidences, strangers offering help, money arriving when you least expect it, opportunities once blocked now opening with no resistance. This is not coincidence. It is the blessing you unsealed, flowing. At last, the house has transformed. Spiritually, it has become a temple, and within its walls, your presence now activates energy, protection, healing, abundance. That key you saw in your dream, you already turned it. That hidden room, you already entered. That silence, it has been lifted. The final ancestral symbol appears, the Empress, the sacred feminine, now whole. She is no longer the forgotten ghost. She is the blessing herself. You carry her voice now. You are the altar through which this lineage blooms again, and now the signs become sacred. A blue butterfly enters your space, in dreams, art, or reality. signaling the soul's release. A ring appears or is returned, symbol of vows restored across time. The number 13 appears again, not as warning, but as divine rebirth. Then, the Ace of Swords, truth crowned. You may soon receive a letter, a call, a confession from someone who unknowingly holds the final piece of your family's puzzle. It will confirm what you felt all along, that something was taken, that a fortune was hidden, that a soul waited. But now, everything has returned to its rightful path. And Virgo, here it is, the Nine of Cups, fulfillment, emotional completion. The blessing that once wept in silence now sings in your presence. You will feel it as joy that erupts without reason, as peace in moments that used to feel cold, as love that no longer carries fear. Your house no longer groans with the weight of memory. It hums, it protects, it radiates, it sings for you. And as you walk its halls now, you do not walk alone. The woman walks beside you not as a ghost, but as a guide within. You changed everything, Virgo, because you listened, because you looked where no one dared, because you remembered what was meant to be forgotten. And breathe, the fortune flows. The spiritual wealth is unsealed. Your home, your sacred home, has become a fountain of legacy, of light, of lineage restored. You did what others could not, and the house now sings your name in gratitude.